Hey everyone, John Henry here, Slingshot Futures Trading Group. Thanks for joining me in today's video. Before we start, take a second to give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, and make sure to click the notification bell icon so you don't miss our next live stream or next video launch here on YouTube every day. Make sure you start your day off the right way. Don't forget your free morning brief that's waiting for you at ssftg.com/brief. In the top left, you can click on morning brief to jump into that. That's where you'll find all of our major DP levels right up here at the top, as well as a quick technical overview for the major 6 markets that we look at. The NASDAQ, the S&P, you've got gold, crude oil, the euro, as well as Bitcoin. Maybe you're looking to get a full game plan for the day, week, or month. Check out the join button below. Level 1 subs get a brand new members only video every single morning going over the major 6 markets and a game plan for the day. In addition to that, once a week, I launch a weekly brief, and of course, once a month, we have our monthly brief as well. Of course, all members gain access to our private Discord chat server, and if you really want to get into the nitty-gritty, check out the live analysis room for level 2 subs, where you can see my screens in real time during the New York Stock Exchange Open. You can ask questions and interact with the other members, as well as bounce ideas off myself and everyone else. It's a fantastic environment, and I would love to see you in there. All right, and now on to the really fun stuff, the topic for today.
Cryptocurrencies other than Bitcoin that you might want to take a look at if you haven't seen or heard about them yet. So obviously Bitcoin has been doing very well, and and it's been just screaming to the upside as of late, along with Ethereum, which is now breaking into all-time highs, Litecoin, which is also doing very well. Everything is moving really, really well to the upside. But those are kind of the big 3. Everybody's heard of Bitcoin. Everybody's heard of Ethereum. Most people have heard of Litecoin. And maybe a few folks have heard of like Bitcoin Cash and Doge recently with all of the Wall Street bet stuff. But as it stands, that's kind of it. And there are so many other currencies out there that you could take a look at that offer a lot of really cool things. And you don't even have to know a ton about them. I'll go over some basics about them, nothing crazy, but just a quick synopsis of what they are, what they do, and then the charts. And we can start breaking down a couple fun, different setups that are going on and what's happening in the crypto space outside of the big 3. One big one that steps up is Stellar. The symbol is XLM, as you can see on the chart there. And it's an open blockchain network, and it's kind of designed to provide more of an enterprise solution. It's where large, big, huge transactions on a business scale can take place almost immediately. So while, Stellar is kind of been pushed more towards, the enterprise, the industry side of things. Regular human beings can also invest in this as well. So XLM is a really, really interesting coin to keep your eye on, just as far as looking at more from a business utility standpoint. Now, the chart where it stands, it's not really the best looking chart in the world. XLM's a little bit overdone here in the 33 to 35 cent range, and we're creating a nice ascending wedge driving up from the bottom. There's obviously a lot of interest here, otherwise the market wouldn't have gone from 8 cents to 33 cents, but it's still a little bit far up, and we're not seeing any conviction from the buyers up here. When we get back up to the high closes, you want to see buyers punch through it. That is the opposite of what happened. It completely failed. Now, notably, after that failure, buyers picked it up right underneath it and picked it up again the next time the bears tried. So bulls are definitely trying to accumulate, but what might be necessary here is a better pullback to a base of support to really let those buyers on Stellar push this thing back up. Then we've got one of my favorites, and has been for quite a while, Cardano. ADA is the symbol, ADA. Now this one is a little bit of a tongue twister, but Cardano is an Ouroboros proof-of-stake cryptocurrency. And the one big thing that I really, really love about this is that it was founded not just by Charles Hoskinson, he's one of the initial founding members of Ethereum, but the entire buildup of Cardano, everything, the team behind it, the blockchain, everything has gone through extensive experimentation and peer-reviewed research. It's one of the most scientific, I mean, I know we're talking about crypto, but it's one of the most peer-reviewed, rigorously reviewed coins out there. There's no other coins really that can mount up to the amount of work that's been put into Cardano. Now, that said, where it is now, similar to what we saw in Lumen, it's a little bit overdone. Buyers have pushed a little bit too far up. We're pushing into the 45, 46 cent mark if you're comparing it to US dollars. And the big thing that obviously stands out here is the last time we were up here, it didn't do so well. We had a lot of rejection. When the market made it above here, it did use it as a massive launching pad to rip the market higher. We haven't broken through it yet, though. That's the problem. You can easily see how this could quickly become an explosively strong rally to the upside. This has the makings of everything the buyers need to really get this thing ripping. The only thing that's missing is a break above that resistance, and that is obviously holding it back just a little bit. The next one on the list is Polkadot, DOT. In DOT, this one's a kind of a unique one. It's another proof-of-stake cryptocurrency, but it's aimed at more delivering the interoperability between other blockchains. Its protocol is designed to connect permissioned and permissionless blockchains, as well as oracles, to allow systems to kind of work together under one roof. Now, I know if you're not really big into cryptocurrencies, a lot of what I just said might have sounded like a completely different language. Basically, it just connects other systems together to make them work better with each other, which, given how many different coins there are and how many different cryptocurrencies there are, you can easily see the value in something like this that is obviously being displayed in its price movement. So far, it's rallied from the $5 mark to, almost 20. It made it up to 1930s. So with the highs being put in so aggressively, the market is still staying propped up. It's not pulling back. And, well, when it did, we'll just say getting slapped was about the only thing that happened to the sellers there. It bounced right back up and back into support. And we can see this huge zone of support that is still bouncing the market over and over and over and over and over again. Currently, we're dealing with a little baby micro wedge here, and if we can get a breakout, that would be the launching pad to try to kick this thing back up to 20 and maybe even a bit through it. The last time it was there was, well, this first candle, that doesn't really count. That was after the ICO launch, so you don't really count those. The highest it's ever been. We're kind of dealing with all-time highs in a sense. So there's a lot of questions up here, but again, zooming out, you can very easily see how this could very, very quickly be the middle leg of a larger three-leg cycle. So definitely have the eyes on DOT. Then we've got Chainlink, or just Link, L-I-N-K. This is a decentralized oracle network, and the idea is that it bridges the gap between smart contracts, like the ones that you find on Ethereum, and data outside of that. Blockchains themselves, they don't really have the ability to connect to outside applications in a way that can really be trusted. Chainlink's decentralized oracles allow those smart contracts to talk to each other with those outside data points so that the contracts can be executed based on the data that Ethereum itself just can't really connect to. So looking at Link as a chart, we have a very nice ascending wedge that's rallying higher, and there's quite a bit of aggression to the upside here. We're in the $20 mark, so it has broken past that big psychological 20, and you can see back there in early August of 2020, it definitely had a little bit of a hard time there. But zooming way out again, this is the highest it's ever been. Even if we draw it as a 3-point wedge, we still have a ways to go until we hit those areas. Realistically, the bulls are ramping this up super aggressively, but the pullbacks have been fairly generous. A lot of the pullbacks have actually dipped down a good 30-40% if you measure from the bottom to top, some as low as 50 or 60%. Same thing here. From here to here, decent pullback. From here to here, decent pullback. But one thing is sorely missing. These pullbacks and rips are getting tighter and tighter and tighter, and that usually means that there's an expansionary phase coming. And if that's the case, buyers will be looking to expand down below, and what better spot than that humongous psychological level at $20? Seems pretty straightforward. So realistically, there are buyers who are trying here. There's a lot of bullishness coming in, and there's a lot of really good implications for Link as a technology. But as far as a price point goes, it's either the bulls take it here and it goes screaming higher, or it's just way too high and the bulls get absolutely dumped on before buying back around that $20 mark where they can find a better average of price. Next up on the list is EOS, and this is pushing back more into commercial land than anything else, but this is one that actually kind of calls itself the most powerful infrastructure for decentralized applications. That's EOS. And it's a blockchain-based decentralized system that enables the development, hosting, and execution of commercial-scale decentralized applications, or dApps, on its platform. And that's a big deal. This is starting to push more into the commercial world of things, which is where really the big implications, or implementations rather, are needed to kind of push Bitcoin and crypto as a whole over the edge and start gaining mass adoption. Now, EOS as a chart, super range bound. It's smack in the middle of it, hovering at around $2, $3. When it dips down to the lows, we're hovering in the 230s. When it goes up to the highs, it's hovering sub 4. The last time it broke above 4, it went ripping all the way up to 550. And actually, the last time before that, it screamed up to 870. And then before that, you've got those rallies all the way up into the 20s. So EOS has a huge amount of potential to the upside. And to call it cheap right now would be absurd. And that's more what I think this is than anything else, is just an accumulation phase before a larger rally to the upside. Sure, buyers may be looking for cheaper prices down here to try to grab it at those really bargain bottom bin, bottom of the barrel prices, but realistically, it's hovering in these threes. It's going to be tough to get much cheaper than that unless things start really falling apart. And then there's Bitcoin Cash. For those of you who've been following along with me for a while on crypto, you might be surprised to see this on the list at all. Bitcoin Cash, we've kind of had a love-hate relationship with it, more so with Roger Ver than anything else. But aside from the currency itself, it's one of the first hard forks that really came off of Bitcoin. And the big thing, the big selling point when it comes to Bitcoin Cash, and why it's such a really kind of solid cryptocurrency, aside from holding the test of time, is that it's incredibly fast. And along with that, in the sense of an actual currency, as the name would imply, Bitcoin Cash, it really moves fast. The transactions that can happen on Bitcoin Cash go quick, and the cost of those transactions are generally very cheap. And so the way that it operates is a little bit more unique in the sense of favorable to the smaller user. Now, as far as the chart goes, it has had a very strong rally to the upside, bottoming out in the $200, just a little bit below it actually, $133 range, before going screaming all the way back up to $654. This move to the upside is obviously fairly parabolic, but if we zoom out, it's not unheard of to see Bitcoin Cash in these zones. What really happened, we just hit that previous major swing from way back over here in 2018, and we're finding a whole lot of resistance. And that's no surprise. That was a major low, major high, major high, major high, almost a major high, almost a major high, and once again, a pretty major high. This is a big spot. The market has to break through this in order to continue back up. But if it can continue back up, there is a monstrous amount of potential all the way back up to 1600 at the earliest, before seeing all the way back up into the 4000s. So there's a lot of potential for Bitcoin Cash to go ramping up, but honestly, it's one of those that I think is more beneficial to stay on the cheaper side. That way it offers up the userability, or the usability for more of the general populace. It makes things a little bit more simplistic. That said, if Bitcoin's in the millions, then I guess, one Satoshi being $1, whatever, makes it pretty easy too. And then finally, one of the other big ones that really, it's kind of starting to stand out. It's still in an ECR20 phase, meaning that it's still a token and not an actual coin, but Nexo. And it's kind of what I sort of consider the bank, right? Nexo is sort of the big bank of coins. What it does is it allows really the features of tokenomics, is what they're calling it, which reinforces its utilities, boosts its values with the digital economy, etc. And the idea behind it really is to become a place that you can park a lot of your coins and hodl their way, your way to wealth. So hodling, if you're not familiar, that's HODL, that's hold on for dear life. That's holding on through all the pullbacks, holding on until it goes to the moon. It's the old old adage. And this allows that because this offers a lot of really cool features like having really high APIs and having actual benefits of holding your coins there. You're getting a nice percentage back. Some, 4%, 5%, 8%, 12%. Their coin itself pays, last time I checked, was a 30% dividend just by holding it on their platform. So this is a really, really interesting coin that's kind of coming through as more of the banking side of things, a place to really park and hodl. And I love that. As far as the chart itself goes, it's a little bit top heavy. We're going into that dollar mark, and the dollar is never a small level. When you're going sub dollar to a dollar, everybody who bought in underneath a dollar, whether it's at 20 cents, 50 cents, 70 cents, they're all targeting the same thing, that one gigantic 100. And that's what we just came off of. So is this the time to buy Nexo? No, that's a little bit overpriced. This dollar mark makes me a little bit nervous. Now, could we break above it? Definitely. Could it have a chance to really go crazy? Definitely. But what I would realistically want to see at the moment is a better pullback down into a zone of interest for buyers to bounce in a more favorable area sub $1 before we go screaming back up. But that's going to be the major coins that I really am keeping my eyes on as an extra outside of just Bitcoin and Ethereum and Litecoin. So what are some of your favorite coins? Do you have some that I didn't talk about? Maybe Doge, if you made the 4 bajillion% on that Wall Street Bets rally, or if maybe you're on the other side of it and Doge is your most hated. I'd love to hear what your favorite cryptos are. Maybe I missed them, and maybe there's a few that I can add to my portfolio too. That's going to do it for this one, though. I hope you enjoyed, and like we always say, stay safe out there, keep those stops in play, and let the winners run. Until the next time, we'll talk to y'all then. Thanks.